just meeting a guy and going to his house. You should not be going to his house unless you want your eggs cracked. Some girls act so delusional. They'll be like, oh, he told me to come over to his house. He said he was going to cook me a good meal. I didn't think he was going to come on to me. Bitch, what you thought? Bitch, he wanted to crack your eggs. That was in his mind. Don't be delusional. If you know you're not ready to get your eggs cracked, don't go to his house, especially if you just met him.
Ladies, we got to talk. If a man that you have been online chatting with invites you to dinner on the first date at his house, the answer is hell no. Not just no, it's hell no. You know why? Because you don't carry your happy tail over there to somebody's house. You don't know that man. You don't know his house. You don't know who in the house. You don't know what he gonna do to you when he get you in the house. But make no mistake, if he didn't invited you to the house on the very first date, he got plans for you. You just don't know what they are. Don't you go over there. Don't you put yourself in any kind of situation that could potentially turn into something that you don't want it to be. That is far too much for date number one. You need to go meet him for lunch, brunch, or breakfast at a place during the daytime with a lot of people so that there's some witnesses. And if he act up, then you can act up and somebody else will be there to confirm it. But don't put yourself in a situation. This lady just said some man she went on the first date on followed her home, and then when she was in the house, he's on the door, knocking on the door, trying to intimidate her, talking about let him in because he want what he paid for. What? Girl, you ain't got no time for none of this foolishness. If people will look you right in the eye and lie, you know they'll lie online. Don't you carry your tail to nobody's house. You don't know them. Do not go.
Women, if a guy is trying to invite you over to his house for the first date, let me break this down to you. He is not trying to date you. If he's inviting you over to his place, he is only looking for one thing, and that is not to date you. If you're looking to date, that is not what he's looking for, so this should be a hard pass. The reasons he would invite you over to his place for the first date: number one, he wants to sleep with you. Number two, he's broke and ain't got no money to date you. And lastly, he wants to kidnap you. All bad reasons. So if you're trying to meet up with somebody for the first time, do not go to their house. Meet up in a public area. Make him treat you like the queen that you are.
I'm gonna just say like this: going to that man's house is not a date. It's not a good first date. That is not a date at all. When that man say, hey, you can come over, you can slide through the house, that is a setup, okay? A big setup. When he tell you that, you say, listen, I prefer not to go to your house for a first date. Let's go to like a coffee shop. Let's go like to walk in the park. Let's go to a museum. But I really don't want to go to your house for a first date, all right? That is a setup. That is a scam. That is not a date. You have been bamboozled. You have been tricked. You have been fooled. You have been played. He got you in his care. Why do you want to be that way on the first date? You don't know him. He don't know you. Why do you want to be in a man's house on the first date? I mean, maybe the third or fourth, but the first, no. That man needs to take you to a public place in a public setting with people around. So, that's...
Ladies, just a reminder that if he invites you over to his place on a first date, he's not taking you seriously, and that's not a date.
So that's the video, guys. So now I want to share my 2 cents, like what I think about these videos. Okay, so why you should not go to a man's house in your first date. Okay, so first dates are for knowing each other for the first time. Like, this is your first meeting. You're not supposed to go to a man's house. And why you should never accept going to the guy's house on the first date. I know it can be tempting, especially if the chemistry is strong and you're both vibing, but there are some serious reasons why you should not hold on off. So let me get you to the reasons why you should go to public places. Okay, so it's very, very important to do that. So let's start with the most important reason: your safety. Meeting someone for the first time, especially if you have only connected online, means you don't really know them yet. Sure, they might seem nice in their text or during that quick coffee chat, but you can't fully know someone character until you spend more time with them. Going to a guy's house on a first date puts you in a vulnerable positions. You are in an unfamiliar environment, possibly far from help, and that's a risk you don't need to take. Even if they seem trustworthy, it's always better to be safe than sorry. Another reason is to avoid going to his place on a first date is about setting clear boundaries. Agreeing to meet at his house can send mixed signals, especially when it comes to intimacy. If you're not ready to take things to that level, going to his place might create pressure or expectation that you're not comfortable with. By keeping the date in a public place, you're setting the tone that you are interested in getting to know him without any premature physical expectations. This helps to ensure that the relationship progresses at a pace that you are comfortable with. Another reason is building a strong, lasting relationship takes time, and it's important to lay the right foundation from the start. When you go to his place on the first date, you might bypass the crucial phase of truly getting to know each other. First dates are about conversations, learning about each other, values, interests, and personalities. These are the building blocks of a deeper connection. In a public setting, you are more likely to focus on meaningful interactions rather than physical attractions, which set the stage for a relationship based on a mature respect and understanding, rather than just physical chemistry. Let's be real, when a guy suggests his place for the first date, the famous Netflix and chill scenario often comes into mind. While there's nothing wrong with a cozy night in, it's not the best way to start a relationship. When you go to his place, the focus might shift from getting to know each other to hanging out on the couch, which can quickly lead to physical intimacy. This might seem fine in the moment, but it can complicate things later, especially if you're looking for something serious. By keeping the first date out in public, you avoid this trap and keep the focus on building a genuine connection. Another reason to avoid his house on the first date is to maintain your independence and self-worth. When you agree to meet at his place, you might unconsciously be giving him the upper hand, making him seem like you're bending to his preferences. It's important to establish from the beginning that your time, comfort, and safety are just important as his. By choosing a neutral place or a public location, you're setting that your needs matter too. This set a precedence for the relationship where both parties or partners are equal and their boundaries are respected. So if his place is off the table, where should you go instead? So option for a location where you can have a good conversation without distractions. A casual coffee shop, a nice restaurant, or even a fun activity like mini golf or a museum are great choices. These settings allow you to talk and get to know each other in a relaxed environment without the pressure that comes with being in someone's private space. Plus, if the date goes well, there is always the option of a second date where you can explore different settings together. In the end, keeping your first date in a public place is all about ensuring your safety, setting clear boundaries, and building a relationship based on a genuine connection and mutual respect. Don't let the temptation of a cozy night in a crowd your judgment. There'll be plenty of time for that later if things progresses. Thank you guys for watching, and if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and share your own first date stories in the comment section below. Stay smart, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.